Good day all. Welcome to today's class. Today we are going to be looking at transitions and animations in Microsoft PowerPoint. Before I proceed, I want to share my screen as usual so that we can be on the same page and for you to see what I am doing. So I've shared my screen. I will now open my PowerPoint application. I want to use this file, this presentation. That's what we have been using. So I will, let me increase the zoom so you can see my screen very well. So far so good. We have learned a couple of things. We have learned how to add slides. We have also learned about the different slide layouts that we can add. And then we have also done some things on master slide theme, and so on and so forth. We have also looked at how to insert various things in our PowerPoint presentation when preparing our slides. We have learned how to add table, how to add shapes, pictures, icons, smart arts, charts, as well as slide number and footer. We have also learned how to insert an audio file as well as a video file and some of the formatting that we can do to our video file. Today, we are looking at something very interesting, which is transitions and animations. Transitions and animations. Both of them are similar, but they are not the same. So transitions and animations, they are both visual effects. You can prepare your slides and even do your presentation without making use of transitions and animations. Of course, you can do that. But if you want to have a visual effect, in your presentation, then you have to make use of transitions and animations. So, like I said, both of them, they are visual effects. They add movements and visual interests to a presentation. They also enhance audience engagements. They enhance audience engagement. They also emphasize important information. Yes, transitions, animations, they emphasize important information and so on and so forth. But like I say, they are not the same. They are not the same. Transitions affect how our slides change, how the slide as a whole. For example, we have slide 1, we have slide 2, we have slide 3. So transitions affect the whole slide, how each of the slides appears. So it affects how slides change, why animations affect objects within slides. Animations affect object. For example, in this slide, we have different objects. We have the outline. Look at this one again. Meaning of verbs, examples of verbs. These are various things we have inside the slide. And we can determine how we want each of these texts, we can determine how each of them will appear. So why transitions deal with the whole slide, how each slide appears. Animations deal with objects within a particular slide. But like I said, both of them, they are presentation tools designed to make slides to be more engaging, to be attractive, and to be effective in communicating information. So right away, I want to start with transitions. Like I said earlier, a transition is a visual effect that occurs when moving from one slide to another slide. You want to move from slide 1 to slide 2. The visual effects, that is transitions. So it controls how one slide enters and another slide exits. So for you to add transitions to your slides, all you need to do is to go to the transitions tab. You go to the transitions tab, and then you need to click this. You need to click these options here so that you can, have the full transitions. You can have the full and the complete transitions. Now we have 3 categories of transitions. 3 categories. We have the first one, subtle. These are subtle transitions that we can use. Then the second category is exciting. These are exciting. All these various transitions here, they are under the exciting category, and each of them, they have their names, as you can see. And then the third group or category is the dynamic contents. So, for example, let's say you want how you want each slide. Now, before I choose a particular transition, now I want us to go to, as it is now, I don't have no transition effects, no animation effect as well. It seems as no animation effects as well. Now, let's see how this, let's say these are my slides and I'm having a presentation. So if I want to begin my presentation, I have to come to slideshow and then I'll click from beginning. But if I don't want to go through that method, if I don't want to go through that way, I can just come to this shortcut here and I will just click slideshow. So when I click slideshow, I have to, when I click slideshow, of course, before you click your, let me press escape. Before you select your slideshow, you should ensure that your cursor is on the first slide. You must ensure that your cursor is on the first slide. So there are two ways to do that. One, come to slideshow tab and then you click from beginning. That is it. And if you want to go back, just press escape. Press your escape key to go back. If you don't want to go through that route, you can just use this shortcut here, our slideshow. Just click on it. So once you want to go to the next slide, this is our first slide. When you click, you use your arrow button that you have in your keyboard. So if you want to go up, you press the upper arrow. And then if you want to go down, and then you press the one that indicates downward. So if I want to go to the next slide, I will use my arrow button. You can see how the slide just no visual effects, no transition, no animation. I click the next slide, everything just appears the way it is in the slide. I click the next one, everything just appears. So we say that in this presentation, in this PowerPoint presentation, we don't have any visual effects. There are no transitions, no animations. So now let me press escape. Let us do one or two transitions here and see how it will be and see the difference. Now, transitions, don't forget to click these options here so that you can have your complete transitions. So let's choose, you can choose anyone. For example, let's choose this airplane. Let's choose this airplane transition and see how it will look like. Now you can come to this place and have a preview, how it will look like, how it will play. So let's click our preview. So that's exactly how it will be. Now, do you want this particular airplane transition for all your slides? Yes, because you have the option of choosing different transition effects as you move from one slide to another slide. Then you can also decide to use just a particular transition effects for all the slides. So as you move from one slide to another slide, the effects, the transition effect will be the same. So if that is what you want, we are going to look at the two. Let's say you want this airplane transition effects, to apply to all these slides. After selecting this airplane transition effect, you have to come to these parts where you have timing, this timing group. You have to click apply all. It's very, very important. If you don't click this apply all, it will affect only that slide. So let's click apply all, apply to all, apply to all. So now we have clicked apply to all. Now let us go to our slideshow. I say if you want to go to your slideshow, make sure that you are on the first on the first slide. Now let us go to our slideshow and see how it will be. You see it. Can you see the effect now? So if you want to move to the next slide, you can see that this is the transition effect. You move to the next slide. You can see that it's the same because we selected apply to all. So they all have, as you move from one slide to another slide, is the same transition effect that you have. So that's it. It's as simple as that. So that is transition. Now let's assume that you don't want a particular transition effect for all your slides. So as you move from one slide to another slide, you want to have different transition effects. It's possible. So you come to the first slide. Which transition effect do you want? Let's say let's select this ripple. So don't click apply to all. So you go to your second slide and let's use this peel off. Then you come to your next slide. If you don't like any of the ones here, you can click this option so that you can see the other transition effect that we have. Let's go for this one. Then that is this next one. Let's choose another transition effect. Let's choose this crush. Then the next slide, let's choose another transition effect. Let's choose this shred. The next one, let's choose another transition effect. Let's choose this zoom. And I think the last one, let's choose another transition effects windows. Now, so let's now go to our slideshow. Let's go to our slideshow and see how each of the slide will appear. So you watch this one, then you click the next one. You can see that they are different effects. That is because we took time to select them one by one. So that's how to add your transition effect. So as you move from one slide to another slide, you can see the transition effect. So that is the end. Let me escape it. So these are the two ways. If you want a particular transition effect for all the slides, once you choose that effect, you must come here and click apply to all. So, but if you want different transition effect, then you have to do it one. Sometimes you may have up to 30 slides, and you don't want to stress yourself, doing it one. You can just choose one effect and click apply to all. Then we also have this effect option. Like if you look at this second slide, let us preview. You can see the way it's appeared. Now, if you look at this effect, let us preview it again. So it came from left to right. So you can come and change it so that it will now come from right, to left. So for example, let us preview is from the right of the slide. So, but supposing you want it to come from the left, under this effect options, you can choose left. It will now come from the left of the slide. So that's about effect. Then the duration, the length of the transition. If you want it to take time, you want it to be slower, then you can increase the transition duration. You can increase it here. And then sound, if you want sound as you move from one transition to another transition. If you want it to play a sound, you can come here and select any sound you want. For example, let's look at this explosion. So let us go to our slideshow. So as you move, can you hear that explosion sound? So as you move from one slide to another, that sound will introduce. Okay, you see that because we are having different transition effects and we do not click, apply to all. So it's just for that particular slide. So you can choose to have sound but for professional kind of a presentation, is better for you not to have any sound, so that your presentation does not look somehow. Now, that is about transition. Let's now come to animations. Let's come to animations. Now, supposing you don't want, you chose a particular transition effects and you now decided that you don't want transition effects anymore. Just come to this place and click none. Just click none. Once you click none, the transition effects, you click none and then you click apply to all. So when you click none, you have to click apply to all. So our transition effects has gone. So we don't have transition effects anymore. Now, how do you know that a particular a PowerPoint presentation is having visual effects, either transition or animation? You will see something like a small star. Like for example, let me use this and then click apply to all. So you will see this star. You will see this star on each of these this slide in your thumbnail. You will see the star. That is, this star is indicating that there is transition effects on this PowerPoint presentation, these PowerPoint slides, that we are having transition effects. You see this star. Now, let's remove it by clicking none and then apply to all. Now, let's come to animations. Animations is also, is also a visual effect. The only difference is why transition has to do with the whole slide, how a slide appears. Animation, on the other hand, is applied to specific objects within a slide. Objects within a slide. When we talk of objects, we are talking of text, your text, images, shapes, charts, smart arts. So it controls how each object appears, move, or disappear, how each object. So in this our example, we have only text. We don't have objects. So let me just quickly insert an object. Let me insert a shape. 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 Okay, or delete. Let me insert a rectangular shape. Let me insert a rectangular shape. Okay, insert a rectangular shape. So it's not only text that we can use animation. We can also use any objects, text, shapes, and so on. How to use animations in PowerPoint. So to use animations in PowerPoint. So I want to change the color shape field to something like this. Yes. Then this one, let's use text field. Let's use black. No, let's use, let's leave it as white. So let me increase the font size. So this is a shape how to use, so you can move your shape to where you want. So this is a shape. So now animation affects, the each object in your slide and not the overall slide. So now let's say, okay, before that, let us look at our animations tab. Before this, your animation tab will become effective, will become active. You have to select, you know, your text or object or whatever you have in your slide. You have to select it. That's when your animations tab, not just the tab, the different animation style will become active. And so if you click this option here, we saw the different categories of transitions that we have. They are three. They are three. So for animations, we have that's five categories. Is it five or four? Four categories of animations. The first one is entrance, and you see the different animations we have. And then we have the second one, emphasis, and you see the different animations we have. And then we have another category called exits. And then we have the last one that is called motion parts. And so these are the four different categories of animations we have. Now let's add some different animation styles. So you have to, I say that in animation you can, determine how each object in your slide. So that means you have to select them one by one. So like this verbs now, that's the first thing. I will have to select it. I will now come to this entrance. Which animation style do I want? Let me choose this wheel. And you can always preview it. You can preview it and see how it will appear. So that's one. So then I will have to select this second object too, because they are different. So I will select this one, and this time around I want to use fade. So if you look at your preview, you see how it will appear. Let me come to the second slide. You can see the various things I have. So you have to select them one by one. That's the difference between animation and transition. So first of all, I will select this outline and then let me choose bounce. Yes, and then the next thing that I want is this one. Select it, and then let me use fly in. Now, fly in. let's look at this preview. Okay. Now is this one that I'm interested in, this meaning of verb. So let's look at the preview. Okay, and this one. You can see that it came from the bottom. Let's look at it again. This meaning of verbs, it came from the bottom. You can change it under these effect options. Now you can see that the one that is highlighted is, from bottom. If you want it to come from the right, if you want it to come from the top instead of bottom, you want it to come from the top, you can choose this from top. You cannot see. Can you see the difference now? So the former one came from the bottom, but now because we have changed the effects option, so it's now coming from the top. So these are the things we can do. Now let's choose this one and let's use another effect. Let's use grow and turn. And then, okay, let's use another one. This time around, let's use maybe let's use zoom. Okay. Now this one, let's use another one. Let's use splits. Okay. So you can see that because we have different animation style, they have numbers. So when you look at transition and animation, both of them in the thumbnail, all these um all these slides here that are just in not in full. This is what we call our thumbnails. So all these slides here, they have this, star, like we have in transition. You can see that it's only this slide 1 and slide 2 that have. Slide 3 does not have because we have not, done any animation on this slide 3. So it's just this slide 1 and 2. Now, why this same, star also appears in transitions? This numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we don't have it in transitions because transitions, like I said, apply to the whole slide. So we don't have this numbering. So once you see this numbering, you know that it is animation. There is animation in that PowerPoint presentation. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means that it is this outline that will appear first. This one will appear next, and next, and next, and next. So now this one too, let's also, you can see that you have to select it first, click on it first, and then let's use random bars for this. So it's not only text. We can use animation. You can use animation for all objects, text, table, shapes, graphs, charts, and so on, can apply animation. So now let's look at some other things we can do. This duration, you can also, if you want it to stay for long, you can increase it maybe from 50, let's say, let's have it 99, and then if you want it to stay for some few seconds before your object will appear, you can also come and select the time. I don't want my object to be delayed, so I will not select anything here. Now, this is animation pane. There are a few things we can do in this animation pane. Animation pane, shows you all the various animations you have on that slide. This is slide 2. We have 6 different animation styles. So if you click this animation pane, there are a few things you can do here. For example, we can play and see how each of them will appear. Let us try it. Let's click play. Okay. I'm supposed to click. My mouse is on this. Let me bring it to 1. Yes, so that it can play. It can play from 1. Yes, so 1. You can see it. So this is how it will appear. This is how it will appear. Let me play it again and see. So this is how it will appear. So you can see that each object, again, is different from transition. You don't have this in transition. It's just the whole slide, just how the slide appears. But it is animation that gives you that opportunity to decide how you want each object in your slide, each object, as you can see, in what we have done. Let me play it again and see how you can see it. Yes. Now, in this place, we can reorder. Let's say we want this number 2. I will have to click on this number 2. Anything that you want to do, you have to click on that, number. So this is number 2, meaning of verbs. Let's say I want this number 2, or let me come to this number 3 here. This number 3. Let's say I want this number 3 to come before number 2. I can reorder. So if I want this number 3 to come before number 2, I can click this. I can click this up, this up arrow here. If I click on it, you can see that this number 3 is now number 2. So, but I don't want that. Let me click on it back. See, it has even gone up. That's not what I want. Let me click on it. So this one will move it up. This one will move it down. These two. So this number 3 now, if I want it to appear last, if I want this number 3 to appear last, you don't have to come here again and be, doing it afresh. No. All you need to do is you can come to, just come to this animation pane and you can rearrange. So if I want this number 3 to come last, I will just select the number 3 and then I will click this downward button here. Downward, downward, downward. That is it. It's now last. So, but that's not what I want. Let me click it back to its position, number 3. So that's how you can rearrange. Then also, you can also drag. If I want this number 3 to become number 1 to appear first, I can hold it and drag it. Drag it. You can see it has now become number 1, but that's not what I want. So let me drag it back to where it belongs, to number 3. That's it. So apart from this, your animation pane. So once you are done, you close it. Apart from that animation pane, we also have this reorder animation. Some of the things we can do here, we can also do it here. For example, if you click on this, if you select this number 2 now, if you want it to become number 3, you can click move later. You can see it has become number 3. If you click it again, move later, it will become number 4. Click it again, it will become number 5, but that's not what we want. So let me click it back to take its number 2 position. So these are the 2 ways you can reorder your animation style. So you can just select the objects. Like if I want this object to appear as number 2, this is last. This object is last. But if I want it to appear as number 2, click on it and then you go to this move earlier. Move it 1, number 5, move it again, number 4, move it again, number 3, move it again, number 2. So after your outline, it is this number 2 that will appear. So these are some of the things we can do. Animations, very interesting. Now, let us go to our slideshow and see how they will appear. So slideshow. Now, like I said, you have to use your arrow downward button. Just be clicking on it. So you click, you can see the first one has appeared. You click again, you click, the second one will appear. So once you finish your slide 1, you want to go to slide 2, you click again. This is the slide. This is slide 2. You click your outline. You can see how it appears. So 1 1. So if you want the object in your slide to appear 1 1, it is animation, not transition. You want it to appear 1 1. It is animation. So now, if you want the next one to appear, it is the shape, that shape that will appear next because we have reorder from last, we have taken it to 2. So it is the shape that will appear next, 2. And then you click again, your 3, you click again, 4, click again, 5, click again. That is it. So this is how we can make use of animations tab. And I'm sure that you find this class interesting. Now you have to practice. Like I have always said, there is no way you can master, you can fully grasp, understand, a course like this without practicing. This is a practical kind of, course. So you have to practice. And so I encourage you, practice, try the different animations and transitions. The more you practice, the more you become, good at it. So thank you very much. I hope you all enjoyed, this class. I'll see you guys in our next class. Once again, thank you, and make sure you practice. Bye for now.